Hey, foster care. If you care so much about children, how come if a child discloses something to me that's occurred to them abuse-wise, you will do absolutely nothing about it, but you will tell me it is so nice that the child is opening up to you. Now, if that same child says something to a family member a year later, all of a sudden you'll come to me and ask me if I knew anything about it because you want to press charges against a parent. Ask me why. If you care so much about the children, how come you only care when a family member finds out, but you don't care if I find out? Hey, foster care. If you care so much about children, then how come if a little abuse issue is made by a parent against me, you'll instantly investigate it? But I can have 1/3 of my children tell me that they've been sexually abused by different family members, and you will not investigate a single one. And not a single one will even go to jail ever or have any kind of case or anything or legal distancing occur because guess what? You don't care that they were sexually abused. Hey, foster care. If you care so much about children, then how come the goal is always to put them in with a family, even if they've spent 3 different occasions in foster care and most of their life living in a completely different home? How is that better for the child? When they're 17 and they spend most of their life in the foster care system, how is that better for them to go back? How come you don't terminate the rights for the parent and allow them just to move on and to be adopted? Hey, foster care. If you care so much about children, then how come you're okay with a child being put in the home of a parent you know is pissing hot for some very serious drugs, and you know and you've told me and you've seen that there are needles on the floor? How come you're okay with the child going into that home? But now if there's a report that I scratch a child somehow or give him a teeny tiny little bruise, all of a sudden you investigate it and you're questioning me as a foster parent, right? I have a question for you. Now, I'm not saying that I do these things, right? You get the allegations, but how come it's such a serious issue to be investigated when you're okay with the child being with a biological parent with needles and drugs? And now all the piss tests are coming out hot for meth. How is that acceptable? Hey, foster care. If you care so much about children, I have a question. Why is the goal so much to put the kids or have the kids be adopted by a family member even when it is obviously true it is not the best place for them to go? How come you're willing to let a child be adopted by an abusive grandmother, physically abusive grandmother, then she dies, and then you have the child be adopted by an uncle who has some mental issues and depression issues, and let him commit suicide before you then think, oh, maybe we'll have a non-family member adopt the child. But guess what? The child's so messed up now, he can't be adopted by anyone else. How is that acceptable? How is that helping the child? How is that loving them? Tell me, foster care, how is that helping them? I've learned it is always family first, child last. Family first, child last. That's what I'm learning. That's what you're teaching me. That you don't care about the child, you care about them being together, regardless of how abusive it is, regardless of the limbo the children are put through, regardless of the mental cognitive issues that occur as a result of it. Congrats, foster care. You have taught me a lot. Thank you.